And we bring in Michael Phillips here to break down this game. Commanders against the Baltimore Ravens. A lot on the line here because if the Commanders win, you're talking about a playoff team.
Oh, man, this is so exciting. 5-1, right? I don't know what the exact numbers are, but 5-1 teams make the playoffs. 5-1 teams that beat Lamar Jackson on the road in a big game definitely make the playoffs. There's so much hype around this game, so much offense, so much enthusiasm. I'm so ready for this already.
Yeah, I do think that Washington will probably stack the box. The first thing it will do is limit Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry's ability to run on first and second down, try to get the Ravens into some third and long situations here. And when you stack the box, though, you're going to have one-on-one coverage for Benjamin St. Juste and maybe Emmanuel Forbes or Mike Sainristil.
Yeah, I love what they've done. They've kind of rearranged the deck back there. I feel like they're in a much better spot than they were. Noah Igbenogany obviously is in a much better spot than he was. They've got these guys in the correct positions now. Mike Sainristil going to the outside, Igbenogany going to the inside. I feel like everybody's in a little bit better situation than they were, but at the end of the day, you got to win the one-on-one matchups. And that's one of the concerning things about last week, Adam. They didn't win those matchups against Cleveland. They just were facing a really bad quarterback. I give this week's guy, he's a little better. He's going to make those throws.
Yeah, absolutely. And we could say, hey, they're going to stack the box and try to limit Derrick Henry, but it's a lot harder than just saying that. You have to create a wall there defensively. Can the Commanders do that?
Oh, boy, this is a game where the stars need to be stars. John Allen, Daron Payne, right? If you can clog up the middle, you make life easier. You allow Frankie Louvu to do what he's been doing. His numbers are off the charts the last few weeks. A lot of that is because Daron Payne's eaten inside. Fedarian Mathis has been playing very well inside. I've loved watching him play over the last few games. It makes a little Johnny Newton in, maybe get a little Cleveland Farrell back. I love our Richmond guys, obviously. Be fun to have him back in the lineup. But the stars need to be stars in a big game environment.
And Bobby Wagner came over to Washington this offseason, has changed the defense. He leads the team in tackles, the starting middle linebacker. This is a game where I look to him to really clog holes there in the middle. Offensively for Washington, they're red hot. The Baltimore Ravens, though, know how to stop the run.
Oh, yeah. This is a game where, we'll see what Brian Robinson Jr.'s availability is. Game time decision is the word. You will see what Austin Eckler can do. I love the idea of this being an Austin Eckler breakout game. I think he's been waiting for one of those. Get that opportunity potentially. Jeremy McNichols has been playing really well. So much of this has been 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5 almost every time, almost every set of downs. They're in favorable situations. They're setting up 3rd and shorts where they're allowing Jane to do some downfield stuff, a little bit more of that. They have to continue that. I think this offensive line is playing at a much higher level than we all expected them to. This would be a great week to take advantage of that.
Absolutely. They're going to try to run the ball, but I do think their best chance to win this game is to air it out. Baltimore's weakness right now is the secondary. They just don't have as tight of coverage and communication as they did last year. Do you think Baltimore will choose to do more man or zone from what you've seen Jaden have success with this season?
I think it depends how quickly they feel they can get to him, right? Because Jaden's been licking his chops when he sees man. He's been feasting on that.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if they can find a way to get to him and rattle him, that's obviously the direction you want to go. Cleveland sets up in man, sends the extra rusher, thinks they've got him dead to rights. Whoop! He just slides on out, makes a throw downfield, 60 yards in the air, right into Terry's lap. All of a sudden, we got ourselves a blowout of a football game. They want to do that. That's the path to stopping this kid. Can they do it?
Yeah.
Nobody's done it yet.
And then you had the other play where he made a guy miss and just took off by himself for 35 yards. I really think this is an opportunity for Jaden to have 80 yards maybe. I really think, when they play against teams that are going to blitz, he's going to take off. The Bucs did that. The Browns have done that. I think you're going to get probably double-digit carries from Jaden.
Yeah, the problem with the Bucs game was he started looking to run first. And you want to make sure you're always looking to pass first, run second. He's done a great job of that the last few weeks. The way he's evolved in real time, it's a rookie to sophomore jump he's made in 5 weeks. It's incredible. We just don't see things like this every day. It's part of what excites me about this game and this team. These are leaps that he's making that it takes most guys in offseason, a month, a bye week to make, and he's making them in games. It's incredible to watch right now.
And look, this is a team here that has done a really good job on the road this season. That road test there against Cincinnati and then back-to-back wins there on the road against the Cardinals. Now you travel inside of the state of Maryland to take on the Baltimore Ravens.
I'm excited to see what this crowd will look like, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to be mostly Ravens fans, but maybe time to repay a little bit of what's been happening at FedEx for a while where the visiting team's fans come. There's hype. There's interest. There's enthusiasm. I'd love to see a lot of burgundy and gold this weekend. And don't sleep on that Tampa game, Adam. I thought Jaden was really good in the Tampa game for first week. He won Rookie of the Week that week, so he wasn't terrible. They got 3 good road performances as an offense in my book.
It's going to be a really interesting battle on Sunday. I'm interested to see which of these teams starts hot. I mean, you've seen kind of throughout this season some different starts from either teams here. And, of course, Washington has done a really good job making halftime adjustments. But I think it's going to be crucial if the Commanders want to win this game. They've got to play with a lead here.
Well, it's always better to play, from ahead than behind it. What I loved about the Cleveland game was they did stumble out of the gate. The defense gave them enough time to get right?
Yeah.
And that'll be a taller task on Sunday. I don't think it's a given that this defense is going to give you the cushion of 2 or 3 possessions to get it figured out. You probably got to get it figured out quickly. But they've managed the end of the first half so well. It feels like every week they score at the end of the first half in that little 2-minute and a half window. It's just other teams do that so well. And so I was like, why can't the team we watch do that well? They're doing it well. I love it.
We went behind enemy lines earlier, speaking with Ravens reporter Matt Valdez. And you look at this Ravens team here, and I think on paper they have more talent defensively than the Washington Commanders. I think we're coached better defensively. Their star coach last year is in Seattle. And so that's part of the reason why I think they've struggled defensively. The communication's just not there. The play calling isn't as good. And so even though the Commanders might not have as much talent on defense, I think Dan Quinn, Joe Witt Jr. have done a better job calling defensive schemes.
I dare anybody to tell me coaching doesn't matter after what we've seen in the NFL this season. Sam Darnold's 5-0. What we've seen in Washington, where a defense of spare parts has been turned into something usable, and in Baltimore, the regression, obviously, when their coach leaves. And Mike McDonald's doing a very nice job in Seattle. That Thursday night loss there notwithstanding, I think he's put together a very nice defense there. Coaching is so important in the NFL. It's a big week for Dan Quinn and Joe Witt.
Yeah, and Cliff Kingsbury has really been kind of a step ahead of defenses, especially the last 3 weeks. When you look at the amount of points Washington has scored here, are you expecting a bit of a shootout on Sunday?
How could you not expect a shootout on Sunday? Both of these offenses are better than both of these defenses. If either team gets it going defensively, they're going to win by 3 scores, right? I mean, I think we both see that. The path to a 14-13 game, I just don't see it with these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, Baltimore, it's no secret, they want to control the time of possession. They're going to try to run the ball with Lamar and Derrick Henry. Washington's going to try to run the ball too. But I think both defenses might do a decent job of stopping the run, and then all of a sudden they'll play action off of it. But I think that's the only way it's a really low-scoring game is if Baltimore's running for 150 yards on the ground, Washington's running for 150 yards, and the clocks just keep going.
Clock's running a minimum number of possessions.
Right.
Yeah, I think we could both see that where everybody is scoring. They're just not getting a lot of time to score. They're 7-8-minute drives, that sort of thing. I think weather's good, stadium's good. Both teams are coming out flying. I know nobody wants like, 2 guys say the conventional wisdom is correct. Here, 2 guys saying the conventional wisdom's correct. This is going to be a shootout on paper. It sure looks like it.
Washington, I believe, got 7 possessions in the first half against the Cleveland Browns because the defense got 3 and out after 3 and out. And they ended up with 24 points in the first half, their most scored of any first half. Yeah. So I really think they could have put up 50 last week if Jaden played the whole game, right?
They pumped the brakes so early. 12 minutes left in the game. Marcus Mariota's coming in. Don't sleep on the benefit of that either for this week. That's 1 less quarter of professional football. A little bit easier to get back in the routine, get back, heal up a little quicker. Mr. Brightside.
You knew where I was going because Baltimore had to play an extra 12 minutes there with the overtime game against the Cincinnati Bengals. So Jaden got some rest. Lamar had to play a few extra snaps. I'm going to pick my guys to win this game here. I'm going to say final score 31-27, Michael.
First off, I love getting 7 points with either of these teams. I get that that's a sucker line and a smell test line. I don't care. Give me my points. I want 7 points in a game that certainly has the looks of a shootout. I think it will be very close. I am going to take the good guys here. I am going to go with the Commanders. Give me 28-27. I just think this one's really coming down to the wire.
That's Michael Phillips. I'm Adam Epstein. You're listening to AWOD Radio on The Fan.